In this video, we take a look at how much money the casinos are losing as a group just on a strip per day. Donald Trump has some comments and opinions on what's happening in Nevada, Carolyn Goodman, and Governor Steve Sisolak. We explore the idea that the Virgin Hotel is on time and what's happening with the train. And we take a look at Wynn, who had a bunch of things to say, the Wynn Corporation, about reopening in Vegas and how it should work and how it might go. My name is Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a Vegas blogger. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for future notifications, leave us a comment. Do you have any sympathy for the casino properties and how much money they're losing? Or is it profits before people for them, in your opinion? You let me know in those comments below. And if you guys want to further support the channel, you guys can hit up the Patreon where you can be in the credits of the video, or you guys can go ahead and hit up the Teespring, whatever, get some merch, something with your name or a logo on it. Also, make sure you're in the live stream. We do them every single day, 7:45 p.m. right here on the channel. That is the South Point. The Grandview is coming up. These are very empty, although I think the timeshare owners always have access to their buildings, so I guess you have that option while you're out here. So that is a hotel that is open. All right, so in the news today, we got a bunch of stuff, okay? We have the casinos. Now, how much money do the casinos lose? A recent study came out and it said that a casino property that's small loses somewhere in the area of, I think, $72,000 a day. I could get that one wrong. I didn't write that one down, but the big boys, the Caesars, the Wynns, the MGMs, all those, they lose on average per property, not per company, $700,000 in gaming revenue every single day. I did some simple math. I added up the 8 properties that Caesars has in Las Vegas on the Strip, the 9 that MGM has, the 2 for the Wynn, the 2 for the Sands, and the 2 that Phil Ruffin owns, and I got to a number of $16,100,000 per day being lost by these big companies all shared up together. Of course, this is not including things like food, entertainment, shows, parking, resort fees, all those things they nickel and dime you to death with. Doesn't include all that stuff. This is just from the gaming. So $16,100,000, not including downtown, not including all the smaller places like the M Resort and the South Point right behind me. Although I'm sure the South Point is losing money as well. It's not considered a small one. It's not a big one. It's somewhere in an in-between one. That's a lot of cheese. That's a lot of cheddar. That's a lot of money to lose. I wonder what they're going to do. Oh yeah, they're going to try to open. We'll get to that in a second when we talk about what the Wynn had to say about opening. But speaking of things being closed, yesterday in a press conference, Donald Trump was asked about what he thinks about the whole spat between Sisolak, Carolyn Goodman, our mayor, Steve Sisolak's our governor, and Trump said he's okay with the closures. He sees both sides of the picture. And when people quoted how Carolyn Goodman said it was insanity, rabble, 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 and they thought they would maybe get a rise. Maybe they thought, you know, Trump would play politics. But you know what he said? He said, look, I have properties that are closed. I can see where she's coming from with being upset. I can see where everybody else is coming from with wanting to be safe. But they didn't get him to say anything uncomplimentary against any sides, which I'm sure upset a lot of people. I'm sure there was people on both ends of the spectrum that wanted to see the guy get all upset and say something bombastic, but no. He admitted he has a property here, Trump International Las Vegas. He says it's been closed. You know, he has properties all over that are closed. We all have things that are closed. And he was very, very nonpartisan with it, and that was kind of interesting to see because it would have been easy to go off on a tangent either way. Now, they have been assisting Nevada. Nevada is flattening the curve. It is nice to see local people working together. I did say a while back that I can see Carolyn Goodman's point, but we don't have to throw the higher authority governments under the bus. It would be difficult to go to work and have a nice work environment and do much work if the subordinates were constantly railing against the bosses on a regular basis. That stuff is only maybe reserved for extreme situations. But hey, we all appreciate that Carolyn Goodman is just trying to work hard for the people to make sure they get their jobs and their livelihoods back. We'll see how this all turns out. Speaking of which, we have the Wynn calling for the reopening of the properties and the Strip in Las Vegas in a plan. But before we get to that, we have to talk about Virgin Resort and Casino, formerly the Hard Rock Hotel. We have to talk about the Virgin trains and why Virgin is in a unique position. They really, really are. See, they've never charged any resort fees at any other properties, and they have several resorts with their names on them. The Hard Rock didn't charge resort fees either, and the Virgin Resorts is not looking to charge resort fees when they open up. They are on track to open up fall. of this year, hopefully bearing any kinds of delays. They say they have not had, tripping on my words, any kinds of problems with CV. They haven't had any virus issues. Nobody's tested positive. Everything is just good to go with them, and they're looking forward to being open in the fall. By the fall, will things be open? I'm certain that they will. As a matter of fact, I'm certain things will start opening up in May, as I pointed out in my video yesterday. But Virgin is also banking big on the train, the big bullet train that will take people 144 miles from Victorville, California, all the way to Las Vegas, and eventually into downtown LA once they get the land and the rights of ways and the money to build it. The only thing standing in the way is a state-backed bond payment from the Silver State, from the battle-born state, from the state of Nevada. They've already got last week approval from the state of California for $600 million worth of government bonds that helps them fund the project and do it faster, and that is a good thing. That could bring double the amount of people to Las Vegas than normally, because we have people that don't want to drive, don't own cars. A lot of folks of the younger generation don't own cars. How are they going to get here if they don't want to fly? Could it be better to take a train? Would you take a train with what's going on with the current state of the world? It should be noted this train probably wouldn't even exist if they started construction today for at least 12 to 18 months, if not 2 years. It would be a big endeavor to build, put tens of thousands of people to work over the course of the construction, which would be nice, and it would be good to see something like that happen. Lastly, we have the win. Yes, the win. You know, the win has come out and said, hey, let's work together on reopening this. They said a lot of the things that I was saying in my videos for the last month or so. I told you guys I have some sources that give me information. The source that I have that gives me this kinds of information is fantastic and has never really steered me wrong. So the WIN talked about opening up early May, mid-May possibly. Reduced capacity in the hotels, social distancing in place, temperature checks for guests on a regular basis, face masks on all the dealers, gloves of course. He noted, with the WIN CEO said, nobody likes wearing face masks. This is just a reality. They said we will watch the hospitalizations in the area, make sure that the areas that we are operating in, if there's uptick, we might have to pull back a little bit, admitting exactly the same thing that I said, which is that, yeah, we have to reopen. At some point, we can't stay out of business for 18 months straight. It's not feasible for any kind of company to do that. They might as well just close down the company and sell it to a new buyer willing to open it in 18 months. So we have to do this, and we will monitor everything. Watch daily, see if there's a slowdown in the curve. If there's an uptick in the curve, guess what? We might have to admit that we were doing things a different way that we shouldn't have been doing, and we might have to go ahead and pull back a little bit. Slow down. Take it as it goes. It's like anything in life. You don't just race up a mountain. You don't just run up Mount Everest. Sometimes you got to slow down. You might even have to go back a few steps in order to readjust your trajectory and go forward. I guess that's what they're really looking for. So it'll be interesting to see if Sisolak, our governor, listens to what the WIN is saying, the WIN Corporation, the WIN CEO. It'll be interesting to see that. If he does listen, we could have a state where the government is working very, very closely with local properties, and this would be something good. Now, my main thing is this. I mentioned it in a video yesterday. Nevada does not have a stellar history of data, healthcare, reporting things. That's why we don't really know the curve. If you look on some of these websites, you'll see new cases reported, new this, new that, on a daily basis, if not hourly in some cases. We don't have that here. So how the WIN will get access to that data, I don't know. Oftentimes big companies have better ways of doing things. Maybe they'll get directly with the hospital systems and implement something and put the capital in place, and maybe this actually does solve a problem wherein we don't know what's going on with the reporting, and maybe we will from now on. So the WIN has a plan. Everybody wants to reopen. We have the news for today. What do you think of the news for today? Are you heartbroken that these properties are losing $16,100,000 collectively? And does that bother you? Or do you think it's just desserts after you had to pay for parking, after you had to pay the resort fee, after you had to pay the drink fee? You tell me in the comments below. Once again, my name is Steven. I am not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a Vegas blogger standing outside the Grandview Resort and the South Point. It is lockdown time still. Make sure you check us out 7:45 p.m. in the chat. I will be there. Hopefully you will be too. If you want to be in the credits of the video, hit up the Patreon link. You can do so there. leave us a comment and go on the Facebook group Not Leaving Las Vegas. Now's the part of the video where I say 3, 2, 1, click. So we're gonna go right now. 3, 2, 1. Sun is in my eyes, and click.